Hey, it looks like we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, this is Meryl.
And Carrie.
And tonight we are here with some wonderful guests, which I will let Carrie introduce. So, welcome to our live tonight. YouTube and Facebook. To make crazy good meals without going nuts. We have Jane and Ann Esselstyn. We have recipes which were included, I think, in about an email that came just before the start of this live. If you didn't get them, please let us know. We will send them out again. We have, I believe, 6 or 7 recipes tonight. One of them is not in your packet, so make sure you have paper and pencil or whatever you like to write with. If you want to, do it on your tablet or whatever, just make sure you're taking notes and watching, because that one you'll have to take notes on. Also, all registered viewers who registered through Eventbrite have been put in a drawing for a t-shirt. We will have 3 t-shirts given away at the end of the event tonight, so stay tuned. Carrie, you want to introduce our guests?
Yes, I would love to. We are so honored to have both Jane and Ann Esselstyn with us tonight, and it's my pleasure to be able to introduce them to you. We've included the website to their foundation below, so you can check it out, read their bios, and learn more about them. However, I'd like to take this opportunity to personally share what I've learned about these two ladies over the years. Back about 5 years ago, when I transitioned to a plant-based diet, the Esselstyns were the first source of information and inspiration I found. I purchased their books, attended their virtual events, listened to Rip's podcast, and watched their YouTube cooking demos. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to actually attend their retreat on Black Mountain, North Carolina, and meet many of the team in person. Early on, I learned very quickly that Ann is a relentlessly energetic and creative advocate for the plant-based whole food way of life. She has devoted herself to inventing recipes and never stops looking for ways to devise practical and powerful ways to shop, cook, and engage even the most reluctant eaters in the plant-based diet. She has a master's in education, taught for 27 years in Cleveland, Ohio, and has 4 children. When not in the kitchen, Ann counsels patients, lectures around the world on how to prepare and eat plant-based foods, and spends time with her 10 plant-based grandchildren. Yay. Jane is so entertaining, bubbly, great dancer, and has a positive energy that is contagious. She is a fresh and charismatic voice and truly brings her passion as a woman, nurse, and mother to the topic of a plant-based whole food way of eating. She has a bachelor's of science in nursing and is an avid and inventive designer of plant-based recipes. She also has 3 plant-based children. If you've never seen their YouTube cooking demos, you should definitely check them out. And you'll quickly see that they both bring a real can-do attitude to the power of plant-based eating. They have a wealth of experience in making delicious, kid-friendly recipes the whole family will love. I'm sure you'll enjoy what they have to share with you tonight. So welcome, Jane and Ann.
Thank you. Hi, thank you. Are we on now? Are we up?
You are on. You are on. It's you.
Okay,
it's all
great.
you.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm Ann, just so you know. And we're not twins. She's my mom. I'm old. People often confuse us and they say, oh my gosh, the twin Esselstyn women, they made a new cookbook. I'm like, no, made it with my mom. Anyway, we want to get right to it because we have about an hour or I don't know, close to an hour of amazing recipes that we think will be appealing to everybody and have a little extra sort of interest for kids. I've got Brian and I, who's the executive director of the Esselstyn Foundation, the reason we're having this right now. He and I have 3 kids who were raised eating all the stuff we're going to make today. So it's kind of kid approved. Boom. And just before we start, we want to just mention Zippy Fast are the guidelines in which we stay. And our guidelines are we don't eat any meat, like no meat, no nothing that has a mother or a face. So no meat, no dairy from a cow or a goat or anything else. No dairy, no added oil. There's plenty of oil already in things, plenty of fat already in things.
And that applies for children too.
Yeah.
They don't need that extra oil.
Some athletic kids might, and some households I know have to be flexible in certain places. But ideally, we're going to shoot for these guidelines for this hour and just talk about what we've done. So no meat, no dairy, no added oil, and minimal amounts of salt and minimal amounts of sweet added to things. And we only use maple syrup in our sweetener because it's so expensive and it's liquid and it makes us have to sort of have more fluid in what we eat and not just dry sugar.
And avocado and nuts are wonderful for kids, and that's where they get lots of fat.
Healthier fats. With heart disease, which is kind of our jam, we usually talk about, especially on our YouTube channel, the heart disease patients, we don't use avocado and nuts with them, but we are going to have some avocado today. Do we have nuts today? I don't think we have nuts in anything today. Anyway, we're going to start with breakfast, and then we're going to go to a lunch and some other things to have for lunch, and then we're going to kind of, actually, you know what? The wheels are going to fall off the bus. We're just going to start with breakfast and see where it goes. So some great fun oatmeals that we do. You call
and kids are going to go crazy over both of these. And so are all the adults.
I sent this off to Meryl. I was so excited. I forgot to write it's called banana bread oatmeal because it smells like banana bread. So you can carry in the word bread above it if you want to. And it starts with steel cut oats. These are steel cut oats. See, they're heavy. They're very much like an oat groat. They've just been chopped with a steel blade a few times. So these are,
and they keep the oatmeal a little bit less
toothsome. Yeah.
mushy.
Yeah. And so this is about a half a cup of oats, as you see. And this is a cup and a half measuring cup. In it goes. What's so cool about this recipe is you don't get anything dirty. Nothing. So you take the banana, you squish it in its own skin. Anyone could do this, any age.
So much fun to squish it.
So 4 to 104. Squish it. And then I like to open my banana the same way that gorillas open up their banana, which is not from this end. It's from the little black tip on the end. And so you add this squishy banana. I could have squished it a little more even, but you add that in there, kerplunk. Take some vanilla. This is the pro move that makes it kind of taste like banana bread. Take the vanilla into the cap. And just pour a capful. Ta-da. And then just take the cinnamon, however your cinnamon comes in a shaker or this or that, and just shake in as much as you'd like. Whoop, that's a little out of that one. So, banana bread oatmeal, steel cut oats, water, banana, cinnamon, vanilla. I'm going to put this in the compost. I'm going to put these back on the shelf and this on the stove, and it's done. Clean, easy peasy. Kids will love that. I put this on the stove. Okay, great. And the next one we're going to make is called lemonade oatmeal. Again, it's this is the one that's actually in our new cookbook. So for reasons of copyright with Penguin, a Random House, our publishing company, we have to just have you listen to us talk about it and not electronically give it out. So thank you for understanding that. It is hard to not want to just give away your whole book for free, but that's the way it has to be. So once again, we're going to start with half a cup of steel cut oats. In it goes, and I'll figure that out. There you go. Here we have a really confusing oven stove top. So we have our half a cup steel cut oats, and we're going to add once again about 3 times as much fluid. If you like runnier oats, add more water. If you like them thicker, add a little less. In that goes. And since this is lemonade, we're going to add the zest of the lemon, which is what Anne's doing here. See
and the zest,
like can you circle with that?
All the power of this lemon is in the zest. So you should never
show that camera.
Use a lemon or an orange or a lime without zesting it too.
Yeah.
We have a refrigerator filled with balled fruit
and zested down to nothing. So you add in a teaspoon of zest, but she's going to add the whole lemon of zest, which is more than a teaspoon because she just loves zest so much. And
the thing about the zest is it doesn't make it lemon bad. I mean, lemon.
It makes it taste like sunshine. That's why I might call it lemonade. So we're going to do that. And once we get through that, we're going to cut it in half and we're going to squeeze about 3 tablespoons in here. And lemon are kind of tart and really intense and acidic. So we're going to add a little bit of maple syrup. Again, here's our minimal amount of sweetener. So again, it's 2 to 3 tablespoons, whatever you prefer. And I lost my teaspoon measuring mechanism this weekend at an event we did. So I'm eyeballing what I believe to be the right amount. All right, so we have, once again, we're going to review what we have in here, which is the foundation of the oatmeal again. Oatmeal is so wonderful to get in your belly before the day starts for all kinds of reasons. It keeps your hunger at bay, your blood sugar level. It's really good anti-inflammatory thing to eat. It's dose responsive. It's just good in lots of ways. So we
Jane,
have.
we have a question, if you don't mind, about oatmeal. So there have been reports recently of a lot of like Roundup being sprayed on oatmeal.
I'm so glad yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that if you have any information for us.
Just get organic oats. The Roundup is coming from Monsanto and other places that use this stuff. And if you can get organic oats, great, because you don't want to be getting Roundup in our bodies. Thank you, Meryl.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so our breakfast is going to cook over here behind us, and I guarantee they're going to overflow. And they're going to go under our stovetop. We're used to it, but we can't see it. You guys can. So somebody, please go, hey, and tell them it's bubbling up. So thank you for that. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is these wonderful things called these Texas armadillo tater tots, and they are so delicious and so yummy. I had to make a batch beforehand because it cooks for 45 minutes, which is longer than our event is with you. So we have a batch in the oven ready to show. We're going to show it once we show you how to prepare it. So you start with a whole bunch of little potatoes, and you have to cut them, slice them, like to have a little armadillo back. Brian, can you get the camera on my hands? Am I in the right place? No, those are done. Here. I already did these ahead of time, so I knew it would take a while. So you just slice them like this, not all the way through, but just so that they can kind of yawn open a little bit once you have these going in.
And it makes them look just like little baby armadillos.
Okay, you're going to go work on all those. I'm going to put the stuff that goes on top in here. Oh, potatoes on the loose. Potatoes on the loose. Okay. No, they have to go in here. Okay, so in here, we're going to put the coating that's going to go on top of. Right.
Yep.
We are trying to make it all happen in our little space. We're going to make a coating that's going to go on top of all of these split open tater tots. Again, Brian, can I just show you this? You see that? Mm-hmm. See those little spaces? They'll go all the way through, or it's going to crack in half. Just a little on the top. Okay. And what we're going to add to this coating, if you will, in another bowl is hummus, water, and spices. It sounds so simple because it is. So we have some hummus that we get. We like to get ours at, if you can get it with maybe some tahini, but not added oil, that's great. We get ours with no tahini sometimes. We get it with sometimes with tahini. Tahini really tastes good.
Oh, it makes a difference having tahini.
Yeah, it does. But with heart disease, we really suggest people steer clear of any added oils, like we said. And tahini has fat and oil. Anyway, so what we add to our armadillo tater tots is we have this is 8 ounces of hummus. This is one little container. I believe it was 8 ounces. Yeah. Yes. And then to this, we're going to add in half a cup of water, 3/4 cup of water. It kind of depends on the texture of your hummus, because this hummus is a little waterier than some hummus that you can buy. Not all hummus are created equally. So I have my cup and a half here. Oh, I smell the turned down that one. I think. Gosh, this is a confusing oven. All right. To this, we're going to add spices and water. And the spices that you want to add are totally up to you. If you like sort of an Italian seasoning on your potatoes, great, go with that. If you like sort of Cajun, go with that. If you just like good old pepper and onion and garlic, go with that. So I am going to add a little bit of all the above. I know it sounds crazy. But I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oregano, because I love that flavor with potatoes. So here's a tablespoon. This is one of my broken tablespoons because I can't find another one. And I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. Sometimes these things turn to stone because I pour it into a hot pot like that, and and the steam sneaks in here, and it makes it into a little, like a solid stone, like a sandcastle. So I can put a little garlic and a little bit of, this is some Cajun seasoning, a little Cajun seasoning, because I put it on the list. I'm going to show you guys we're using it all, and then I'm going to put a little bit of onion. All these things just carry so much flavor. So we have about.
I just finished, and I only cut 2 potatoes.
In half accidentally.
Too wide.
Good, full marks, good score.
Right.
Okay.
That takes practice.
Yes, and so I could have added more seasoning or whatever, and I'm gonna add a little bit because I know the texture I want this to be. It's almost like pancake batter. And your directions, I said you put it in a food processor. You don't have to do that. This is just water mixing with hummus. I think I did that when I was making that cookbook, and I was food processing so much. I just because it's like a nice
The
little.
less you could put in the food processor, the better.
Yeah, it's just easier because you have to clean it. We don't like to have to clean a lot of stuff. So this coating looks really good. It could be a little bit thicker. I wouldn't want it to be much runnier. Like if your hummus is a little thicker and you want it to be like this is, I want to get it with a spoon so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to just, see that? It dribbles and it drops.
And it splashes.
And it splashes. So it's got
Not
enough.
me.
To splash. Sorry. Okay, can you actually stir this around? I pour it in. So we're going to pour this in and try to coat everybody and everything. And we want to stir it around so that some of this coating gets into the cracks of the slices, the little openings that we made, and work so hard on that. Okay, and then once you have this done like that, you're going to put it on a tray. Did you stir it all up in there pretty much? Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
I've done an amazing job
did
of
amazing.
stirring. I made it go into every single crack.
Squeeze it down in there. Okay. And just pour it. Yeah.
So Jane, we have a question from our viewers.
What's that?
So armadillo potatoes would be something new for a lot of kids to try.
Tater
When
tots.
we-
Armadillo tater tots. Tater tots.
So one lady is saying that her kids are picky eaters and they don't like certain texture or to try too many new foods. What is your suggestion for getting them to eat more fruits and vegetables and things that they're not used to?
Stick with it.
Them. Just
Keep exposing. There's
Really?
no other way but exposure. You can't like inject it into them. They have to, and their microbiome, their body, their belly, their brain will all align. I mean, kids are not born loving asparagus or whatever. You've just got to keep exposing them.
we missed 3.
Okay, so these are now ready to go in the oven, but I'm going to show you what it looks like. We're going to turn our oven. Oh, the oven's on to 425 because we're going to cook these. They kind of cook at a high heat. All the water in the potato has to cook. So
Kids will like these, and you can put in whatever spices taste that you might like. Maybe nothing.
and here, and we put them in the oven right now. Put them in the oven, and here's what it looks like when you bring it out of the oven. Here you go, Bri. Aren't these gorgeous?
Oh,
Yum.
Look
Yeah.
at that. Do you see that? All those little
Great.
cracks.
She wouldn't let me have one before.
I know I didn't want her, but now you dip these in ketchup, and they taste very familiar to kids because the ketchup, or if you don't like ketchup, don't use ketchup. Just eat it as it is. But it's so yummy. Even this batter here in between it all, that
It's
baked,
so good.
it's like this stuff. It's just baked hummus with spices. So good. My mouth is watering. All right. So Texas armadillo tater tots. Yum.
Right.
Those look great.
I'm gonna show you how yummy they are. Oh, I spiced them well. Here you go, in the ketchup and in your mouth. It is yummy. Brian, you want one?
Yeah.
Brian, come try one.
I think they're so good that I don't even need to use ketchup.
Brian, you like ketchup, don't you?
Mhm.
Mm. These are really good. I cooked these about an hour ago, so they're still warm. And I'm gonna put them out because we've got some kids here.
Great.
Perfect finger food for kids.
Oh, for everybody.
Everybody. Okay,
Yeah,
now
that's
we're gonna
good.
move on to sort of, and that's good. you know, a rainy day home at lunch or the winter, because you guys are in like, where do you guys? You guys are at the North Pole. You're somewhere.
We're in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. We were just on Wisconsin Public Radio.
Yes,
So
we've
fun.
heard. Yeah.
So fun. All right, so we're gonna do a little sandwich now, open face sandwich. Anne is a pro at this.
Now, my job was to, I decided to interview some of our grandchildren about what they like in their sandwiches. And let me just preface it all. What interests me is this summer, we have this very large countertop where everybody was kind of making his and her own sandwiches. And I was amazed at how the kids began to mimic the sandwiches that the adults were making. So I want to give you a couple of ideas, and I'm going to just choose two. The youngest grandchild, to be totally honest, I called and I said, Hope, if you had a piece of bread, what would you put on it? She said, honey. I said, Hope, that's not what I meant. So, but actually Hope is the one that would probably put a whole garden full of greens on her sandwich. So I asked Georgie what she would like if she had an open face sandwich. And Georgie has said that she doesn't like open face, one bread. She likes a sandwich with a topping, with a top. So I'm going to tell you what Georgie likes. And this is what she has. Georgie has requested this sandwich for her 10th birthday. And she has requested that it come in aluminum foil because they don't believe in plastic. So she gets her lunch in little tins or whatever, and she wants it in plastic. And this is what she's requested for her birthday. She wants some hummus. And so I'm going to put hummus on the first layer. And then she wants some avocado. And avocados, kids love. And the more you can get avocado into kids, what's wonderful. And I just want to show you one thing. You can cut the avocado in half. And so often people take a knife and go like this to get the seed out. And I think that's sort of dangerous. And the coolest thing, all you need to do is squeeze and the seed will come out without any knife being needed. So I am going to put some avocado next because this is what Georgie, who is about to be 10 in a few days, requested. And I love the tovolo.
I'm eating tater tots over there, by the way. They're so good.
This tovolo gets the avocado out so nicely. And I am going to put this all in here. And actually, because this is quite a big piece of bread, I am going to put a lot of this in.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We should send this to her. You can make it to New Haven in no time.
Then Georgie wants to put a tomato slice. So here is a tomato slice. And you won't believe what she wants next in her sandwich. She wants
sprouts.
Broccoli sprouts. So on top of her sandwich is going to go some broccoli sprouts. And then a little more hummus on here. And that is Georgie's sandwich that she has also requested for her 10th birthday lunch. All right. So there is Georgie's sandwich. Now this is the sandwich that I was absolutely blown away by, Jane. Oh, yes. This is the sandwich that Sophie, and I watched her make this. And we had been making sandwiches for a few days, so I noticed that she had copied some of the things that we were putting on our sandwiches. But the first thing that she puts on her sandwich is some avocado. So I'm going to put avocado on here, and then
So spreading out. Oh, you could put. Well, you talked about hummus.
you could put guacamole.
And avocado gets expensive and it's not always available, and there was a problem with supply chain. And some people put on like a layer of hummus. I mean, some kids they like peanut butter and jelly.
Well, I'm just giving you ideas. You can do, I mean, you know,
We've had
make this
someone-
what they like, but you know what? Be the example. So then they are beginning to think, oh, sprouts might be nice on there. I'll try it. And then the next thing that I noticed that Sophie put on her sandwich was some cucumber. So I'm putting cucumber on. And then, believe it or not, and this is the truth, Sophie put on some arugula. She has seen her family eat a lot of arugula. So she put some arugula. But I'm not finished what I saw Sophie do. She put some sprouts. She has some sprouts. But the next move is a move that absolutely blew my mind away. Because it just so happened that a few days before, she had tasted some of our amazing balsamic vinegar. And I actually saw her put a little tiny bit of balsamic vinegar on her sandwich. Now, look, before you think, oh no child will like that, taste some of these incredible balsamic vinegars.
These are not just like from your local Kroger. We get these vinegars from a vinegar store, or sometimes an olive oil store has vinegars also. And these are, I hate to say they're fancier, but I mean they're more
expensive.
And but you're not buying any olive oil, you're not buying any butter, you're not buying any mayonnaise, you're not buying any eggs, you're not buying any dairy. So yeah, indulge in this. And these are thick and sweet, and this one has no other flavor enhanced in it. This is like the basic balsamic vinegar. You can get them with like ginger, raspberry, chocolate, sesame, sweet heat, teriyaki, curry. I mean, an endless flavor.
Yeah.
Kids come up with great ideas. You
Yeah,
could have put
great.
sweet potato in here. You could have put beans. You could have put green beans. You could have put broccoli. I mean, you could have done anything. But be the example to your kids so that they begin to want to put crazy things that seems on their sandwiches, in their sandwiches. So this is Sophie's open face, and this is Georgie's lid.
Can we open it so we can show the colors of it? That would be so pretty to see the inside. So thank you, Anne. Brian, is there anything we should have added here that we didn't? Like some kids like peppers.
Oh yeah, red peppers would be great.
Or green or red or purple, whatever you guys grow or buy.
I think the big question is always going to be, how do you get kids who are picky eaters to be able to try this stuff?
You know what?
Have them make their own
I mean, you gotta just keep at it. Just keep at it. I remember when our now 27-year-old granddaughter was 3, and she ate. I cooked Brussels sprouts with her, and we cooked them, drained them. I put them on the floor in a bowl. And Flynn looked at me and she said, I don't eat those. I said, that's fine, but maybe you just want to eat a leaf. Flynn must have eaten 20 Brussels sprouts. And she liked them so much that when her birthday was December 27th, and she was in preschool, she took Brussels sprouts as her treat. So don't ever think that kids
How to make friends.
learn how to make friends. Actually, her parents took along a little box of cookies just in case. But
Yeah.
keep at it.
Okay.
Yeah, I read a report not long ago that said that it can take up to 15 times of exposing a child to a new food before they are even really willing to try it or, have more than one leaf of it. So I agree totally, Anne. It takes a little bit of dedication and just repeated exposure.
Yeah. Okay.
Someone wants to know what kind of bread that is.
This is we use different kinds of bread. We here in
This is
Cleveland,
Dave's.
Ohio, we have Dave's Killer Bread we use sometimes. We have Ezekiel we use sometimes. We have Silver Mills, which is one that we prefer to use. They don't always have it at the store. and
Just find a bread that doesn't have added oil. If you can
oil
find
if
it.
possible. Ideally, no sugar, but they have to have a rising agent of some sort. So sometimes they use sugar, sometimes they use dates. Okay, the next thing we're gonna make is
What's the
something.
balsamic vinegar you used?
Balsamic vinegar we use is there's a variety of places it comes from. We don't want to push one necessarily, but this
Well,
is,
I always push.
I know, but
One.
we're a foundation right now, and we need to
It's
push.
okay.
The Olive Tap, which has multiple stores around the country. Olive Tap, not for the oil, but for the vinegar. There's also the Olive Scene. There's also a place called California Balsamics, which is wonderful. Their sweet heat is amazing. And anyway, there's all kinds of great olive. Most cities have an vinegar store in town, in their town.
And they sell both olive oil and vinegars. And you can taste the vinegars. And sometimes it might be kind of fun to take kids in,
Yeah.
let them taste, because they even make a chocolate.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but go in with something that like some bread, because otherwise your tongue just gets like swollen.
So Jane, there's one more question that came in. So how does eating this way, you kind of already touched on it, but how does eating this way gonna change people's budget?
Oh,
For
okay.
their
Well, I'll
groceries.
chat about that as we go. We are now making a nori roll. This is nori, which is a sheet of seaweed pressed together, and we're gonna,
Kids like the seaweed.
this is and kids. Lots of kids have seen or have friends who've had nori or sushi. They call it sushi's kind of the dead fish part of it. We're just gonna go with the nori rolls, like the California rolls, but with plant-based California rolls. So the nori, by the way, if you're going to get this stuff, it has to be toasted. If you don't get toasted, it's going to be rubbery and you're not going to love that. So get it, and if you leave it open and you live in a humid place, you might toast these for like 6 or 7 seconds in the toaster. Don't go longer,
Jane,
catch
I
on
think
fire.
you should stop and show them.
I know. No, these are good. These are good. So this is in the most grocery stores. Nori, sheets of nori. And all you have to
It's
add.
so much fun to make these, and kids can put what they like in them.
And I'm just going to talk about this stuff, and then I'll talk about budget while we roll these together. So this is rice, and short grain brown rice is ideal to use because short grain brown rice sticks together. It's got whatever high pectin. I don't know what it is. It's got something so it sticks together. This was actually from last night, and this was long grain brown rice. But if you agitate it enough, when it's warm, it sticks together. So it sticks together enough so that we use it's about a half a cup per sheet. And there you go. And it's like you're playing tennis. And if you haven't played tennis, it's like a basketball court or anything. And you have to stay on your half of the court with your rice. So I'm staying on this half of my court. She's going longwise. That's fine. You can do that. I kept trying to rearrange her cutting board so we'll go longwise, but anyway,
You gave me a lot of rice.
you can give it to me. I'll go a lot. And so then you have to get it all even, like an even layer. You don't want to have the topography of your rice be up and down, or it won't roll well. And so here we have our rice. Ideally, again, short grain brown rice. Sushi rice is white rice that has nothing good on it. It's just this quick. It's got sugar added. Short grain brown rice. So we're going to add whatever we want now. I'm going to put cucumber on this one. We love mango on our nori. Not everyone loves mango on their nori. Not everyone loves mango.
I want to show you
Carrots.
all, because if you are going to do mango, and mango is amazing in
Red
this.
pepper,
You need to get a mango and
green
Cutting them.
onions.
shall I talk?
I was going to roll, but you can talk.
I'll just quit, because the mango has a skinny seed and 2 cheeks. And so here is 1 cheek, and I have simply taken this, cut around the outside, cut long strips, and then when I have a long strip, I have cut those strips in half. And
This
here
is a massive mango.
well, this is a massive mango, but anyway,
Yummy, yummy. And then we have avocado again, which you saw earlier. If you want to add this, great. You could just cut a little pieces, and I like to just squeeze them out and add them on. If you're avoiding avocado or you don't like it, don't bother adding it. This is all. So what's if you look at all this, you think, oh, how fancy and everything. This is half of a red pepper. This is some stumps of green onion, a little bit clump of carrots from a bag of carrots we've had for a long time. And I don't know, what's that? Half of a cucumber and a mango. And it makes a lot of food. And if you don't like the nori, you can't afford the nori, just do this with the rice. And then put some, you'll see the toppings you put on it. So what we're going to do now, once you have your half of your tennis court ready to go, you just get bold. You just start to roll. Don't, if it falls out, don't worry. Just tuck it in, 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 tuck it in. And our rice is warm, so it's going to self-steam here at the end. But this is like an envelope. See right here, Brian? Can you see right where I am?
Yep.
And I'm going to take a tongue of mango and sort of lick this to make it moist. Just for those of you who don't have warm rice. And once you get that, push the dry nori roll onto the wet little strip there. You hold it for a few seconds, and it self-seals like an envelope. So then this is ready to be cut. Use a serrated knife or something that's got a good, really sharp. These are our sharpest little knives. And then you're ready to.
It's amazing how you think it's too fat to roll, and it will roll.
Look at these beauties. Look at these beauties. And when we started doing this, our kids would line up. They'd be like, okay, we're going to make nori rolls. And we had one, Brian and I would do all this. We'd have, red, green, yellow, orange, every color of the rainbow would be going into ours.
And then wait, you can eat the end piece because it sometimes falls apart.
You can eat whatever you'd like. So we would cook this. We would make these, we would make our colorful ones. And then our youngest daughter, she would always just kind of do what we did. Our son would go through and he would put just rice, but he would take some tamari, which is always fun to put on it. Tamari, which is soy sauce, on his rice, and then he'd roll it. And then our daughter, who didn't like any of this at the time, she would combine her bowl and she would just put the rice in there and sit down. But you know what? Exposure, exposure, exposure. She's now the one in our family who's like, oh, can we get nori tonight? I just want to have nori. I'm so hungry. And she'll buy in the store. They have brown rice nori in stores these days, especially if you request it. If you vote for it, they'll make it. I wanted to show you some other things that go with nori. I think we had them on the list. Did we talk about wasabi in our list for you guys? And pickled ginger?
I don't know, but go ahead.
I love the pickled ginger.
And they kind of love wasabi sometimes.
Wasabi is really hot.
Yes.
Pickled ginger is, and it comes usually in a jar or a little bag, and it's just ginger, and it's really refreshing.
Oh,
Ideally, you have it between bites, but some people like to dip their nori slices into a little bit of tamari, and so it has a little bit of like a salty flavor and this should go in between each bite to refresh it, but I have come in the habit of putting it on with mine.
This is what all I like on mine is a little bit of ginger.
So I have another question for you. It's a little bit off topic from nori. But...
Well, this is so good. It's just worth doing.
I need to
We
talk about
got a
wasabi.
question.
Well, wait,
Yeah.
so I haven't answered two questions. Here's the wasabi. We get the powdered. Brian, can they see the powder? We get the powdered kind because if you get the pre-made kind, there's like egg yolk and oils and stuff in it. You just add water to this and make the amount you want. And I'm going to do a little bit of that while I chat. What's the question there, Meryl?
Okay, question is, and it doesn't really quite go along with this, but this is what the question is. So do you think it's a good idea to hide vegetables in recipes or in food so that your kids eat more vegetables even if they don't know it? Do you ever see that backfiring or causing a problem?
Maybe, but if it helps, some people are desperate to do things like, I know I've got really yummy, moist brownies in our cookbook that just came out. There's sweet potatoes in it. And I don't think, kid would want to know that, but, and yeah, if you want to sort of use vegetables in things, don't say you're hiding it. Like it's part of the recipe.
Right.
Yeah.
You're making lasagna. The kids like pasta. The kids like red sauce. Kids like ketchup. Are you hiding tomato in there? No, it's part of the recipe.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep rolling. That isn't very much. We're gonna keep rolling a few of these.
Oh,
So we have, yeah. And because I think Brian, what's our time?
You got 20 minutes.
We're gonna roll one more, and then we have a dessert. And you guys keep our dog is going crazy. Take this out of the way.
We have another question for you while you're doing that. Do you
All right, what's that?
have a basic grocery list with like staples that you could point our audience to?
No, because every household's different.
Well,
I don't mean to say it like that, but like I think
No.
what you really have to look at is what your family likes. Some families don't like rice. Some families love quinoa. Some families have a gluten allergy, so there's no pasta. But I would say on my pantry list that I would have, I'd be like, okay, does the household have oats? Does the household have bread? Does the household have whole wheat pasta, brown rice, short grain brown rice, and long grain brown rice because we're a split marriage? And then
my husband eats what I cook, which is short grain.
Brian likes long grain. Definitely I would get some Yukon Gold potatoes and some sweet potatoes.
Yukon Gold are wonderful. They are so.
It's the butter's baked in, as they say. It's
They're
really,
yellow.
They're really moist on the inside without having to add anything. And sweet potatoes. And then I would see like what fruit do we need? With the bananas and the berries and the apples and the oranges, whatever season it is. And then the veggies that are kind of in season.
Lemons or limes are wonderful to have.
Oh yeah, lemons, limes, banana, just all. What your family eats, and if you guys are eating nuts, if you have heart disease, you're steering clear of it. But what nuts are we needing?
Mangoes, avocados.
Yeah, that's kind of how we shop every time. Oh, I always eat tamari. And I always eat a little maple syrup because we did a lot of baking for our most recent. Crap, you stop him from doing that. We try to do a lot of baking for our last cookbook, which was delicious.
Mm.
And all right, so we have it's kind of fun to make your own nori. And I'm gonna put a little avocado here because I think everybody here likes a little bit of avocado.
Tell you, mango is so delicious.
It's so refreshing in there.
Tell us the name of your cookbook again.
Be a plant-based woman warrior. Live fierce, stay bold, eat delicious.
Thank you for asking. It just came out a month ago, and it did really well out of the gate. We were on the New York Times bestseller list.
All right.
Really exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So thus I can't give everything away. Sorry. I'm going to go to the next recipe. So I want to make sure we get them in. And the next thing we're going to do has to do with a silken tofu. Not soft, but a firm silken tofu. If you get any other kind of tofu, you're going to make cat litter or you're going to make a smoothie. It has to be extra firm or firm silken tofu. Not this brand necessarily, but has to have those descriptors. Again, if you don't get those descriptors, you're not going to make this amazing thing we're about to make. Okay. We have a Cuisinart or a food processor that we're going to use for this because you can't get away with just doing this with your hands the way we did with our hummus our hummus blend in the last recipe. So I'm going to plug this in. And you put your stuff clean up. All right. Anne was going to do this recipe, but she's eating her nori.
I just love this nori.
All right, I'm going to carry it over here. So,
But this is a fantastic dessert, and you can do it with any kind of berries, frozen,
fresh.
But I mean, why not use frozen? It's so easy. And I'm going to cut this open.
Brian, can you see how she's doing that?
And there's liquid, there's water in here. And I want to pour out this water. And now what Jane does is she takes this tofu and wraps it. Jane, you want to talk about it?
Mm-hmm. I have a. A tater tot in my mouth, so I can't. But I wrap about 6 clean dish towels around the tofu, so it pulls a lot of the moisture and water out of the tofu. See how moist it is?
I never do this. Maybe I take paper towels and do this if I feel like it. But I just put it in like this. And Jamie, you take the lid off, please.
Okay.
And then, where's the basket? And I'm going to put in about 2 cups of frozen raspberries. You can use frozen or frozen. You said.
See,
Well,
I in our recipe we gave for them.
this
there's
is 12 ounces.
Hold on. In the recipe we gave you, it's my recipe where I take 2 of these and I pull a lot of the moisture out. She's using 1 because lots of moisture is still in there. So please know you can play around with the amount you use, but if you're going to use 2, please pull the moisture out so it matches because there's a lot of moisture in that raspberry. You need
Okay.
to make syrup.
I need 1/3 cup. I put in 1/3 cup of maple syrup. Raspberries I've found are a little tartar than blueberries and I love mixing.
This is 1/4 cup, so I'm going to overflow it a lot.
I love mixing sweet frozen cherries
Mm.
too in here. And then you just blend this up and it makes the most amazing, delicious sweet. Have a little lemon.
I do have time. Here's a lemon. How much lemon do you want? How much do you want?
Just a tiny,
Zest or what?
I don't care, just a squeeze.
I didn't get the lemon in. Oops, I put it upside down. Sorry. All right. Tell me how much you want. It's good. Oh, that was satisfying.
We have
All right. Get her in the deck.
It doesn't. You can cook it until you.
That cookies.
What?
Whip it.
What I like is to put. And these raspberries have gotten thawed. I love putting really still frozen raspberries in. So when it comes out, it's really icy and just cold and so delicious. But you can put it in little dishes and serve it later. And it's my favorite dessert.
See, I would want to have it be a little bit thicker because I like to use this as a frosting on cakes.
But I would, if you eat it in a bowl, this is perfect. Oh, heaven. And if you ever, it's the nicest to serve this, for instance, in wine glasses or in clear glasses or in some kind of clear plate. And then you can put do you have fresh berries, Jane? Fresh berries, and then maybe a little piece of mint on top. And it is so pretty. And so good. We have too much good food tonight.
We do. Play some blackberries on.
Ooh, nice.
So is this something that you might serve at holiday time?
Or if we're watching an exciting movie.
What I like about this dessert is you can have forgotten about dessert and make it in 3 seconds.
Okay, last thing we want to talk about is something we love, oatmeal banana peanut butter cookies. Because we love oatmeal, we love bananas, and we love peanut butter. And we're gonna put some chocolate chips in there. And I believe you guys have this recipe. It's the last one we wanted to get to today. And what's so fun about it is it just starts with having mushy old bananas. And I call them leopard spotted because they're so beautifully leopard spotted. Brian, can you get a good view of the spots? Yes.
Yes.
So Anna, can I get you to help me mush these up? I like to pre-mush them a little bit because you can just really squish them. Sometimes with a fork you can't get it all. Oh, I broke through the skin. Broke through the skin. So in the other 3 bananas. And
I'm not usually a banana squisher because usually my bananas are so ripe
they don't
that
need to be
they've
squished.
already squished.
Yeah, these are, oh, there's a little nub. Okay. Banana. And we mush this in here with our vanilla, a tablespoon of vanilla. I'm eyeing my tablespoon with oregano in it. So I'm gonna get oregano out of it.
I was just about to wipe my hands
On my
on
scarf.
Jane's scarf.
I felt you talk about it. And I was like, what are you doing? Don't put it on the scarf. My scarf. And all right, and then we have bananas and vanilla, and we're smashing them all up. And then to this, I'm gonna get a little more squished up before I add the next thing. The next liquid ingredient is our peanut butter. And can you rinse this, please? All right, it's coming out slowly. We have natural peanut butter. Please do not get Jif or Skippy or all those things that those really are. They might seem like they're cheaper or whatever, but the 15 more cents you pay for a natural peanut butter, like a Smucker's or a Teddy Bear or whatever they're called, different brands, is worth it because you're getting palm oil and sugar. You're basically having peanut butter frosting in those like Jiffy, Skippy. I don't even know all the names of the peanut butters that are out there that are not natural, but please steer clear of them. It's not what you want to have in your kids' bodies. So, and we have here peanut butter, bananas, and vanilla.
So Jane, I think this recipe is a perfect opportunity to bring up one of the other questions that came in. So how can people adapt current like comfort food recipes and make them more plant-based?
How do they adapt to?
Or like
comfort-based recipes and make them more plant-based.
Just take out what shouldn't have been there in the first place. Just kidding.
That's
a
fun
great
thing.
question.
Eat the things that you've loved in the past and just take out the stuff that you don't want to be eating. And
Yeah.
it's surprising, and you'll figure it out.
Like we have just taken.
Mashed potatoes, oh my gosh. Add nutritional yeast instead of butter and cream, and they are awesome. And a little garlic.
That's a really great question, I have to say. It's
Yes.
a really great question. And just taking out what shouldn't have been there in the first place. If you have butter in a recipe that you like, you have to add basically moisture. You're not going to have the same taste. It's not going to have the same mouthfeel of butter and stuff. But get moisture in there. You know that our sweetener is maple syrup, so it's always moist. So we don't really worry about the butter that used to be in there too much. And if something has cream in it, you add hummus instead. Like our potatoes that were coated in that stuff, like we could have used oil. No, hummus. So just substitute something that has some of the same texture and maybe the same flavor. All right, what's next? After we have the bananas, vanilla, peanut butter,
Maple
3
syrup.
tablespoons maple syrup, which I think Ann put away. Thank you. All right, I have a vanilla filled here, so I'm gonna go 1, and then what's next? 1, 2, 3. I had so many bananas in here. I made them shallow tablespoons because we have a lot of sweetness with the bananas. And what's next after our maple syrup? Did you notice?
Rolled oats.
Oats. How many? About 2 cups? I have
cups.
2 cups here. It's great. And then you can add in raisins or chocolate chips or whatever you'd like.
Or nuts.
Or nuts.
Or maybe nuts and chocolate chips and raisins.
Yeah. Add in the whole darn top of our fridge. No nutritional yeast, actually. I can go with this.
So 2 things I like to just put in there for people who have children with peanut allergies. Would you be able to substitute sunflower seeds, sunflower nut butter?
You could use a different kind of. You could use this, different kind of butter. Different kind of nut butter, like almond butter or sunflower butter.
Yeah. And
That's
then
a
the
great
other thing
question,
about even the natural peanut butter sometimes or nut butters may still have sugar added. So I would caution people to read the ingredients all the time.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Like I was really surprised one time at Whole Foods, we were looking at, let's get a peanut butter here. The organic peanut butter at Whole Foods with their name on 365 has palm oil, but the inorganic, the conventional, doesn't.
Right.
So counterintuitive there.
Yeah.
Okay. And stop. We are done. Oh no, we're gonna put this in the tray, but we're done. Our other things are in there right now, and the oven's too warm to cook these. So you just put
Okay.
these out however you want. Big, small, however you want them to be. I'm gonna use a spoon so I stop licking my fingers. And just put them on the tray, and you can eat this completely raw because it's all good stuff.
Right.
So, Meryl, and Carrie, are there any questions
Or
any
Jane,
further?
get them.
Yes.
Your oats behind you.
Do I go to the
Like,
shirt?
your breakfast.
Okay, next question.
So
Show them the-
I know you mentioned earlier with your guidelines to shoot for all of them, and you may or may not make all of them, but aim for the best. What if someone saw that as being a little overwhelming? What would be the one thing you recommend to start with?
Oh, definitely dairy. Get dairy out of your life. That would be a great one to start with. Meat would be great to follow. Oils are kind of the hardest because they're kind of in everything.
But they aren't hard if you get rid of all the oil in your household. Then you have to just use any liquid works.
Okay, ready for the next question?
Sure.
Okay. My family are all dairy farmers, and they take it personally that I want to stop giving my kids dairy products. Do you have any suggestions for how to make the transition without hurting their feelings? We're in Wisconsin, so.
I know. But that you just said we're having a hard time with our health around this, and it's not a lie. I mean that you can point to type 1 diabetes to reducing your risk for that. You can look at acne, obesity, anything.
Also-
autoimmune, preventing MS or RA, rheumatoid arthritis.
Give them some good food without dairy. Don't tell them what is or isn't in it. And they may come to their own conclusion that you don't have to have dairy to be
The
good.
dairy farmers, it's their livelihood. Not trying to take away their livelihood, but just gotta just. I mean, people don't want to have us to dinner because they don't want to cook. They don't have to cook for us, but we're like, our friendship is not dependent upon food here.
Right. Right.
So you're not going to be kicked out of the family because you don't eat dairy, I hope.
Yeah, there's some pretty sad stories about family rifts over food. That's for
Yep.
sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great question.
Okay.
Thank you for asking. All right,
Yeah.
so we cook these.
How long does this cook?
We cook these at 350 for about 15 to 18 minutes, depending on how big, small
Or
things.
you could eat them
Anne was
all
trying
raw.
to make them thin, and we couldn't do that because the rest of them are thick. So they were going to maybe burn or be unequal. So I was trying to bolster yours up a little bit after each time. But these will look, when they're done, the way that they look right now. They don't
Beautiful.
spread and puff like those, ones filled with oil and other rising agents. There's no rising agent at all in these cookies.
They stay delicious though.
They do stay delicious.
As they are or cooked.
Okay, so we have made, we're going to go through what we've made today. We have a lemonade oatmeal, banana bread oatmeal. We have Texas armadillo tater tots. You can see how many I've eaten because it's like they're missing teeth. Look at that. I ate the whole part of the tray. And we have Anne's delicious. Describe your sandwiches.
My sandwiches that are one open faced and the other lidded, and they are just filled with everything delicious according to your taste.
Yeah. And then we made nori rolls, which we're going to continue to roll tonight and feast on. and with tamari, pickled ginger, and wasabi. And then we have our raspberry mousse and peanut butter, banana, oatmeal.
Oh, we made such good things tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for helping us have an amazing feast. I can't stop eating these though.
Well, those are delicious. We had those when we were with you on Black Mountain. Those are pretty
Yeah.
good.
No, you had a bad example.
Well, they were
Put it
so
in the oven.
good.
Put it in the oven and it tipped. And so all the batter went off. So you guys just got like these scalded little potatoes.
So Jane, do you have any advice around like just feeding kids in general plant-based foods?
Exposure.
You know, I remember Jane's 3 kids growing up seemed to just like broccoli. That was the only vegetable. So guess what? They had broccoli every night. In the beginning, they only ate the top part of the broccoli. I loved to go be invited for dinner because there'd be all these broccoli stems left, and I love the stems. Now, they eat broccoli. Ooh. They eat broccoli, whole thing, and they eat every other vegetable now you can believe. So slowly, that kept introducing other vegetables, and now I don't think there's a vegetable that any of them don't like and eat.
Crowd, what do you not like? Crowd? Any vegetable you don't like? She's saying her head. She can't think of one.
Uh-huh. Right.
Must be really hot, mommy. All right. But eating this way on a budget, I didn't do a good job answering that. Basically, brown rice, black beans, salsa, potatoes, oats. You're really not going to break the bank on these things. Frozen berries, frozen vegetables, they're frozen at the peak of freshness, and they are totally fine. And there's no waste. There's no prep. They're totally legit, easy, good, healthy to use. So there really is a wonderful way to make your way forward eating this way. And there's lots of stores. We often shop at a variety of stores to see what costs what where. Like sometimes at Whole Foods, you can get cheaper nutritional yeast than you can at another store, or you can get cheaper chia seeds, or just random things. But oftentimes when we go to Walmart, we go to Aldi's, Trader Joe's. We have a store here called Heinen's. It's similar to like a fancy Kroger or something. But anyway, or Wegmans. There's just a variety of places you can go and find things that are probably within your budget. I know they're cheaper than meat, dairy, eggs, anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And for sure, if you're
buying canned beans, try and buy them with no added salt.
Yeah.
They might like it though.
and definitely for sure, if you're buying the products that are highly marketed and in the fancy flashy packages and that are stamped whole, plant-based, and you're getting into the designer vegan type foods, that's where you're going to start spending lots of money.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, and then you're also getting a lot of junk stuff that you don't want, like especially with the
Exactly.
Impossible and Beyond products.
Yep, exactly.
Apologies, we usually don't eat on camera, but we're eating everything.
Well, you go right ahead.
You have to taste test it.
Right. That's right. That's part of the gig. You have to taste test it. We have a few more questions for you too. Okay. Do you have any ideas on how to improve school food menus?
Patiently. Patiently. You know what? And you suggest 2 things to them. Say, could we offer water as well as milk? It will decrease their budget. It will decrease their costs. So, other thing, you can say, can we not have dessert every day at school? We don't have it every day in our homes. Again, decreases their budget. So work with them. Because if you're getting those 2 things out of there, great. Then they like you. And then you can start saying, hey, all these extra fresh apples, can we have these come in here? Can we have all these fresh this? Can we, get this extra romaine in the salad bar, whatever. You just, but start working with them because they're working with the budget and guidelines and calorie numbers
And so many schools now do something that all of you would is a miracle to do at home. And that is to get children involved in a garden, growing food, and then also making their own food. because once the kids have made something like this, they have ownership in it, and it's surprising how much they'll like it. And I met many schools are doing this now. So do it at home also.
Yeah. So there's a question that came in from a viewer. Is there a recommended amount of protein each day for children?
We are not pros about that. We have never worried about protein or thought about protein. It's not a deficiency we've ever heard about with kids. And
It's
a question,
in everything.
Protein's in every food. And it's a sort of an American myth that we need to get X amount of it. And I know we raised our 3 kids with no milk and no meat. And when they had to make their way through their childhood with, pizzas and cakes and this and that at friends' houses and here and there. But our son is 6'7". Poor guy, never had any milk. My daughter here behind the camera taking pictures is 6 feet. They're all athletes for their colleges, some with national records. So it is not at all going to limit your kids to worry about their protein because they're getting enough. If they're eating food, they're getting enough.
And they need to eat a variety of food.
Yeah.
If possible.
Right.
Sometimes that's hard.
Great.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right. Thanks, you guys.
All
You
right.
guys-
Well, no, thank you. Thanks so much for a great
We're moving into our meal here.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Ann and Jane. This has been a pleasure. It's always enlightening to be with you.
Yeah, so much fun and so many great recipes to try.
Thank you guys. So fun to work with Wisconsinites or Wisconsin. What do you call yourselves? Don't say cheeseheads.
That's the only name.
Yeah.
Cheeseheads. Sorry. Packer fans? That's the other one. I don't know.
All right. Well, we're going to chow down. Thanks so much for inspiring a great dinner.
Yes, you're welcome. Now, the audience, please stay on. We have to choose the winner for the
t-shirts.
T-shirt. So hang on. Good
All
night,
right,
you
we'll let you
guys.
go. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. So thanks again to Jane and Ann Esselstyn for an absolutely wonderful event. All those recipes, and if you didn't get them, we will certainly send them out to you. Just let us know. So thanks for attending. I wanted to let you know too, this is an event that's done in conjunction with or as a part of our 6 Million Seeds project, which is all about child nutrition and the importance of feeding kids normal, healthy, real human food that nourishes their body and helps them grow and helps them stay healthy and strong. Coming up in December, we have a kickoff event for for the launch of this project, which is called 6 Million Seeds. And that will be happening December
3rd through the 6th.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Where we will have at least 11 or 12 different speakers over 4 days.
Yeah, we have a mixture of doctors, and we have a pharmacist, we have educators, we have a wide range of experts that will give you so many tips and so much information on how to feed kids healthy food and to make it stick for the family.
Yes. So I am getting the names of the people who are T-shirt winners. Okay, hold on. It's coming in by text. Hold on. So hold on. Hold on. I'm so sorry. We're a little bit behind here. It's coming in kind of staggered. Does anybody else have any other questions about child nutrition or food or anything like that maybe we can answer while I'm waiting for these names to come in? All right, hang on. So first name is, and I think we'll be pulling 5 names. First name is Karen Bender. Karen Bender, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations, you've won a T-shirt. The next name is Janet Pearson. Janet Pearson, thank you so much for being here. You have won a T-shirt. Another name, Karen Bodine.
Bodine.
Bodine. Karen Bodine, you have won a t-shirt. Thank you so much. Next name, Sharon Woodton Durham. Thank you so much for being here. You have won one of our t-shirts. And then Kinjal Nirmal. We saw your name come up on screen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You have won a t-shirt. And the last name, I believe, is Amanda Pilcher. Amanda, you've won a t-shirt also. Thank you so much. We will get those out to you. Hopefully you put in your size and which style of t-shirt you want when you were registering. If not, we'll be in touch and we will get all those particulars from you so we can send you the t-shirt of your dreams.
Yes.
All right. That is it for us.
Yes. Thank you so much for attending. And I hope you learned a lot and enjoy the recipes that they shared with, and make them with your kids, get them involved and have fun with it.
Yes. And definitely save the date on your calendar, December 3rd through the 6th. And we will be back with more information on that as things come together for that event. All right.
Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody. You guys have a great night. See you next time.